Let's dive into the impressive $4 billion upgrade happening at Frankfurt's International Airport, one of Europe's busiest. The airport, located in Germany, is expanding big time to handle the increasing number of visitors. Over 800 companies are teaming up to build a brand new terminal, making it one of the biggest construction projects in Europe. But of course, such a massive project comes with its fair share of challenges. Here's a curious question. Why would they need specialized industrial divers to help build an airport? Let's uncover the nitty-gritty details. Frankfurt, a modern city known for its financial prowess, is home to Germany's largest airport. This airport is a big deal. It's not just one of the busiest, but also the most connected airport globally, offering flights to a whopping 330 destinations. The airport is situated southwest of the city center and covers an area almost half the size of Manhattan. Currently boasting 2 main passenger terminals and 4 runways, Frankfurt's International Airport is getting a major facelift. We'll find out the exact plans, how far along they are in the construction, and when the shiny new terminal will open its doors. Before we dive into the construction details, let's explore why this impressive $4 billion upgrade is happening. The story goes back to the previous century, when Frankfurt's airport was gaining popularity. They kept expanding to accommodate more people, and the 2 existing terminals could handle up to 54 million passengers each year. However, even in the 90s, it was clear that this wouldn't be enough for the future. So the bright idea was born: build a completely new, gigantic terminal to meet the growing demand. This new addition, when at its full capacity, could handle an extra 25 million passengers every year. The plan was to put it in the southern part of the airport, replacing an American base that was set to close in 2005. After getting the thumbs up from the local government, they held an architectural competition to pick a design. The winning design was described as modern with a feel-good ambiance. After years of detailed planning and dealing with legal stuff, Terminal 3 officially became a reality in 2015, when construction finally kicked off. Quite a journey from an idea to a bustling construction site. Alright, so here's the breakdown of the plan. They decided to build the new terminal in 3 separate phases. In the first phase, they tackled the big stuff. This included constructing the main terminal hall, 2 piers named H and J, a spiffy new apron tower, and all the necessary infrastructure around the terminal. Now, for the second and third phases, it's all about expansions. They're planning to build Pier G in the second phase and Pier K in the third phase. But here's the catch. They're not jumping into these phases right away. They're smartly waiting to see how many visitors show up after the terminal opens in 2026. If there's a demand for more space, they'll go ahead and build these expansions. So it's kind of like a wait-and-see approach to make sure they're building exactly what they need. Smart thinking, right? Let's picture what the completed terminal will be like and what the visit experience holds. There are 2 main ways for visitors to get there. First off, you can drive in using an 11-meter high and half a kilometer long platform right in front of the departure hall gates. And to handle all the cars, they're building an 8-story parking garage that can fit around 8,500 vehicles. The second option is a cool one. There's a driverless double-track system called the Skyline. It zips you from the airport's train station at Terminal 1 to the new terminal in just 8 minutes, making it super convenient for those relying on public transport. Now, once you're at the terminal, the adventure continues in the main terminal hall. This part has 3 zones. The first zone is a big open hall with 2 floors. The upper floor is where you head for departures, right from the drive-in platform. The lower floor is the arrivals hall. Moving on to the second zone, that's where you go through security and enter the third zone, a futuristic marketplace and lounge. They've designed the interior to be super pleasant, with a wavy, reflective steel ceiling that creates a cool shifting effect using daylight, making waiting for your flight a much nicer experience. Connected to this main building are 4 piers, and here's the cool part. They won't be one giant building. Instead, they're making them in short modules, so they can add more sections if needed. Each pier will have a slightly different interior design, but they're all about making sure you feel comfy and cozy. It's like a mix of convenience and style. Let's check in on how the project is doing in terms of completion. So they kicked off construction in 2015, and things were moving along pretty well. However, by 2018, more people were using the airport than they had expected. This made them realize that the original plan needed a tweak. Instead of starting with the main terminal building, they decided to focus on building Pier G first. Why? Well, because it could work on its own and quickly boost the airport's capacity by over 4 million passengers. Pier G got going fast and was making good progress. Pier G was finished in April 2022, and they even got things ready for adding more sections later. They're letting Terminals 1 and 2 handle everything for now. So Pier G is taking a temporary break, and its full opening is pushed to 2026, in sync with the other piers. Now let's talk about the infrastructure. The roads around the terminal, about 10 kilometers of them, are all set. The drive-in platform in front of the terminal is almost done, and the parking garage is standing tall, partly open for the construction crew. And don't forget the skyline. It's up and running, passing its first test ride with flying colors. As for the main terminal building, it's looking pretty complete from the outside. Piers J and H are taking shape, and work on their exteriors is moving steadily. Oh, and the apron tower hanging out with Pier H is already standing tall at 70 meters. Things are coming together step by step. Now let's talk about the hurdles the construction team faced to make all this progress happen. While digging the underground parts of the main terminal building, they hit a point where the soil was completely soaked with water. It turned the site into a mini lake. To fix this, they had to send in specially trained industrial divers in custom suits. These divers dove down to the bottom, making sure the concrete to seal the pit was curing just right. Then came the challenge of building the roof for the main terminal. The plan was to lift it in one piece using 2 cranes on opposite sides. But oops, with Pier G in the way, that plan didn't work. So they had to switch to a more time-consuming option. The roof had to be split into 5 pieces, lifted individually onto sleds, and then carefully moved into place. This took over 6 months, requiring some serious precision. Other challenges included being super precise while building the drive-in platform, handling equipment weighing up to 155 tons. They also had to integrate a whopping 90 kilometers of pipe systems into the terminal building. But despite all these challenges, construction stayed right on schedule, which is pretty amazing for a project this big. Looking ahead to 2026, when Terminal 3 opens its doors, get ready for some major changes. With an extra capacity of 19 million visitors per year, more people will be buzzing around. But here's the cool part: waiting times are expected to drop. Plus, the project will create thousands of job opportunities, adding to the airport's already huge workforce of nearly 80,000 employees. It's not just a new terminal, it's a game changer for the airport and the folks working there. Now let's dig into how the new Terminal 3 will affect both the economy and the environment. Like any big project, it's bound to have some not-so-great impacts. Building Terminal 3 with all its cool features is expected to increase the airport's carbon footprint. But hold on, the folks at Fraport, who own Frankfurt Airport, are on it. They're not just building a terminal, they're thinking green. They've put in measures to cut down on energy and water use. By 2026, a whopping 85% of the airport's energy needs will come from renewable sources. They're even adding solar panels on the roof of Terminal 3 and its parking garage to chip in. Their big goal? To reach net zero emissions for the entire airport by 2045. Now, whether an airport can really run with zero emissions is something we'll have to wait and see. But hey, they're aiming high, and that's pretty cool. Looking ahead, after Terminal 3 opens in 2026, Terminal 2 is taking a little break for some major upgrades. All its flights will move over to the new terminal during this time. And if you're wondering how they'll handle all those extra passengers, they've got a trick up their sleeve called Pier K. It was in the plans from the start, ready to be built when needed, adding space for 6 million more passengers every year. We're curious to see how the passenger numbers will play out in the coming years. But if the first half of 2023 is any hint, the airport has already seen a whopping near 30% growth compared to the same time the year before. Things are definitely buzzing. Thanks for watching the video, and if you found it informative, please like and subscribe to Blueprint Journeys for similar content. We look forward to sharing more knowledge with you in the future. Until then, take care.